Prince Harry and Meghan have been brutally roasted on Saturday Night Live by Colin Jost during his weekend updates.
Holy shit. He said what?
They wanted respect, they craved privacy, but instead, under the blinding lights of national television, they were torn apart, roasted in front of millions. Saturday Night Live's Colin Jost didn't hold back. He dropped a brutal one-liner that had the world doubled over in laughter and left Harry and Meghan seething. The second he quipped, "Those two have no shame," the crowd exploded, but backstage, there was no laughter, just shock and simmering anger. What was meant to be a lighthearted joke spiraled into a global embarrassment. And here's the thing, was Colin Jost really wrong? Let's unravel it. His delivery was crisp, fearless, and razor-sharp. In his monologue, Colin Jost said,
In British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No, I refuse. I'm sick of it. No, I don't want them. No, I don't want them. It's just, they are so...
Guess who's rolling out yet another documentary, podcast, and even a wine label? Yep, Meghan and Harry. By now, even my dog could probably tell you Lilibet's middle name. Then came the punchline. Those two have no shame. The audience burst out laughing. But this wasn't just comedy. It was a spotlight on a royal couple who've spent 4 years demanding privacy while cashing in on every scrap of their personal story. Their double standards aren't just tabloid fodder. Anymore, they're primetime jokes, and word from Montecito? Meghan was absolutely furious.
No, nobody wants these two. If you read the comment section, everybody in the States is like, please take them back to
The words "no shame" cut deep, and reports say Meghan called the monologue tasteless, damaging, and painfully personal. She's famous for tightly controlling her image. Every quote, every outfit, every storyline carefully managed, but this was out of her hands. A live, public humiliation. One royal expert summed it up by saying Meghan's entire brand revolves around image control, and that joke destroyed it in 10 seconds. This wasn't some anonymous troll online. It was Colin Jost, polished, mainstream, backed by NBC, and when someone like that mocks you on live TV, the message is simple. The room doesn't respect you anymore. What made it worse was who told the joke and who laughed. The SNL audience was packed with Hollywood insiders, producers, agents, the very people who shape careers. They didn't cringe or stay quiet. They laughed loud and clear. This wasn't about getting a cheap laugh, it was a public signal that Meghan and Harry are now fair game. The protection they once enjoyed from Hollywood's liberal elite is slipping away. Studios are backing off. Netflix is growing distant. Spotify already cut ties. And now comedians feel free to say what everyone's been thinking. Meghan and Harry aren't respected anymore. They're ridiculed. And behind the scenes, word is the SNL writers actually had even more jokes lined up.
Let's talk about Harry and Meghan. Prince Harry and Meghan have been brutally roasted on Saturday Night Live by Colin Jost during his weekend update sketch. Let's take a look.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK that will reopen British markets for America.
But some jokes didn't make it to air, either trimmed for time or because they felt a bit too harsh. One scrapped line went, "Harry's memoir is longer than his royal career and somehow even less interesting." The very fact that SNL writers came up with material like this says it all. Writers don't go after people they're afraid of, they go after people they know the audience has grown tired of.
Is that we keep these two.
Harry and Meghan, it appears they have become a joke absolutely everywhere. How's the joke being received?
Oh, I mean, everybody thought that was pretty funny, except there's no way Donald Trump would agree to it, right? He would be like, it's the one that we all...
If this is the kind of mockery that didn't even make the final cut, just think about what's still waiting in the wings. And here's where it gets downright embarrassing. NBC insiders say Harry's PR team actually reached out to the shows. Producers furious over the segment, pushing for a retraction or at least an apology. But here's the kicker, NBC didn't even bother to reply.
No, nobody wants these two. If you read the comment section, everybody in the States is like, please take them back to the UK. I don't think that they have remotely any clue as to how unpopular they truly have become.
Well, there are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles.
No call, no statement, not even a quiet nod behind the scenes. That silence said everything. Harry, you don't control the story anymore. Even more revealing, SNL never pulled the joke from reruns. It stayed up on social media, got chopped into YouTube clips, and spread all over TikTok. And guess who didn't try to take it down for copyright?
Especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired hours after he lost his appeal for taxpayer-funded UK security, and a recent poll by The Express found that 97% of those surveyed believe that King Charles should strip Harry of his royal title. I mean, that doesn't really...
Or fire off legal threats. The Sussexes didn't dare because they knew it would only blow up bigger. But this wasn't just a punchline, it was a turning point. A shift in how the public views them, how Hollywood views them, and even how they see themselves. And the next part of this story shows just how deep the damage runs. Not just to their reputation, but to the very heart of their brand.
See King Charles do this because he's not confrontational. I don't think that he likes the fact that he's been accused of racism towards his grandchildren in Omid Scobie's book. So I think he's going to continue to tiptoe around these two. But Prince William, you just wait until...
Stick around, because what happened after the show might be even more brutal than the roast itself. Social media lit up with savage comments, but not in support of Harry and Meghan. Almost everyone took Colin Jost's side. Within hours, #NoShameSussexes was trending, and comment sections were packed with people saying the joke wasn't just funny, it was spot on.
His handsome foot down, and he is going to rock Meghan Markle's world. Meghan Markle is going to be humbled very quickly.
Well, I think Prince William will have plenty of support. We'll wait and see. But Kinsey, you recently interviewed a friend of the royal family.
Long overdue and brutally honest. An online poll by Entertainment Weekly showed over 80% of viewers agreed with Jost's jab, saying Meghan and Harry have overexposed themselves and fully deserve the criticism. One viral tweet nailed it. If you sign $100 million deals, write explosive memoirs, and show up in every documentary possible, you don't get to whine about being roasted. The people are done with the victim act. Brand experts are warning this SNL moment might be the tipping point. Public mockery usually means a celebrity's cultural power has hit its peak and is starting to drop. Reputation consultant Erica Lavin put it plainly. When big-name comedians turn you into a punchline and no one even winces, your image isn't untouchable anymore, it's a joke. That's exactly where Meghan and Harry are now. Mocked on late night TV, shrugged off by producers, quietly dropped by brands. The royal drama that once fascinated people is now pushing them away. Meghan is famous for her tight media control, handpicking journalists and canceling anything that might dent her image. But this was live TV, and her PR machine couldn't block it. No approvals, no edits, no clever spin, just a raw hit that sliced through the carefully crafted facade. No Vogue cover or glossy Instagram post can erase that. It laid bare the huge gap between Meghan's polished image and how people actually see her. That's the risk with live comedy for image-obsessed celebrities like the Sussexes. There's nowhere to hide. Harry, once celebrated as the big-hearted spare, is losing his shine fast in America. The Invictus Games gave him purpose, his military. Service won respect, but now he's remembered more for a ghost-written memoir and a Netflix doc full of finger-pointing and a personality that no longer resembles the humble man people once loved. This SNL moment laid bare what many Americans have quietly felt for a while. Harry isn't the relatable outsider anymore. He's the guy who walked away from royalty but still craves royal perks. The one who left the palace only to keep playing the victim. And in a country that worships self-made grit, Harry just comes off as a privileged man spinning in a mess of his own making. What Colin Jost did with that single line, "Those two have no shame," was more than a joke. It was a stamp, a brand, a label that now trails them everywhere. In Twitter bios, TikTok stitches, YouTube thumbnails, Meghan and Harry have spent years trying to craft their own story, but that one joke might have slammed the door on the narrative. They've worked so hard to sell. The public is calling them out loudly, boldly, and on a global stage. Because to most people, this wasn't satire, it was truth wearing a comedy mask. And that truth is spreading faster than any Netflix special ever could, so where do they go from here? Hollywood's pulling back, the palace remains stone cold silent, and the public just isn't buying the fairy tale anymore, Meghan and Harry. Now find themselves somewhere they've never been, no longer adored, no longer respected, and for the first time, not even feared. Stay tuned, because this fall isn't over, it's only beginning. What Colin Jost said on Live TV wasn't just a throwaway gag. It was a mirror, the kind the world has been itching to hold up to Harry and Meghan. And what did we see reflected? Two people so consumed by their image, so hungry to stay relevant, they've forgotten what real humility and respect look like. Think about it. How did we end up here? From teary interviews and royal bombshells to memoirs, podcasts, product launches, and now wine labels, all while they keep chanting privacy, still clinging to titles, still believing they deserve admiration without the duty that earns it. But the public is waking up. Colin Jost only voiced what millions have been quietly saying for years. The illusion is cracking and no PR machine can patch it up. So tell us, was Jost cruel for saying they have no shame, or was it simply the most honest thing Live TV has given us in years? Have Harry and Meghan been unfairly dragged, or did they bring this on themselves?
Loud and clear.
Drop your thoughts below, because the more they speak, the clearer the truth becomes, and the more people watch, the more they stop feeling sorry
We're
and
not
start
bowing
laughing
anymore.
Their
We're
story
done.
began as a royal fairy tale. Now, it's just a punchline. Tragedy, and more than anything, reality. This isn't just a PR blunder, it's a cultural wake-up call. The message couldn't be clearer: we're done bowing, we're done buying it. And let's be real, this isn't the first time Saturday Night Live has taken aim at Harry and Meghan. It's just the first time the world laughed freely without hesitation. The truth is, SNL has been dropping comedic hints for years, picking up on what so many were already feeling. This couple hasn't stayed misunderstood, they've started to look downright manipulative. Remember back in 2021 when Weekend Update cracked about Harry applying to Walmart after Megxit? Or in 2022, when a Meghan lookalike crashed a royal dinner with brand pitches, Oprah name drops, and camera crews in tow. Audiences laughed back then, but it didn't quite stick, because the Sussexes still had a cushion of public sympathy. But after the memoir complaints, the Spotify flop, the overpriced rose launches, and the endless image games people have had, enough. SNL's latest roast wasn't just another joke, it was the payoff to years of simmering public frustration. The only difference now is the laughs are louder, and Meghan and Harry can't shut them down. When satire starts sounding like plain truth, that's when you know you've completely lost control of the story.